I'm horrible at taking videos for vlogging. The reason I'm on my computer recording the FaceTime thing is because I already took this out, and also this camera, I've worked with cameras that have like the turnaround screen so you can see yourself while you're recording yourself. But this one doesn't have it, and it makes me petty and mad. So if I can like avoid recording my face with it, I will, because there's things you need to worry about, like making sure you're in focus, because my autofocus on this does not work. Like, I don't think I even have autofocus on this. Not like the other one that I worked with. I worked with like I think a higher version of this. My parents have like the Canon Rebel. This is like the EOS 4000D, and I feel like it's like a couple bars below the Rebel is. So with writing, I have been writing the Arrogance of Elegance rewrite since about December 28th. And yesterday, the 12th of February 2025, I finished the draft. Let me tell you, I am still fangirling about it. Maybe it's just because I'm on the high of like writing 15,000 words in one day. But I'm so excited about it. Like, I feel like it was a good story before. Like, I enjoyed it. People liked it. Like, on Wattpad, it's still getting followers. Like, I think, I haven't checked today, but like, it keeps like building. I've been trying to keep track every month, and I'm actually surprised at how much it's building and stuff like that. I am really happy with how this turned out. I feel like it takes the story that was there, which had some like, it's like kind of bare boned. It was a good romance, but it really was bare boned. Like, it kind of just like hit all the points it needed to, and didn't really dive into the backstory, didn't really dive into much about anything. Like, it dived into her character arc, which was good, but this new version, I feel like it gives her more reason why, and because of the reason why she's so fearful of not marrying Nicholas, actually causes more trouble for her, not only in her relationship with Nicholas, but in her relationship with other people around her. Like, so she like ruins, like, so whenever that like darkest night moment happens, it's the darkest night. She got nobody. She has some people, but like the people that she actually like has poured into, and then she kind of ruined that relationship, and so it kind of deepens her character arc, in my opinion. Really excited about it. And then there's also the fact that I added more scenes. Actually, I'm gonna pull up my document so that I can like actually see what I changed in it, because I made a whole list for my Instagram, and I can kind of delve on that a bit more. And I'll probably just edit it on the screen because what has changed since the Wattpad version? Alright, I added Damaris and Mr. York. So Damaris, she is important to it. Like, I usually don't add characters unless I think they're important. I usually take away a lot of characters because I overwrite and I overcast, I believe. So I usually combine characters. But I did add Damaris. I think that's how you say it. Her nickname's Mari, so Damaris. Okay, so Damaris and Mr. York, they actually move the plot forward and also have an important role in the series, the standalone series, which I have decided on a name. I don't know if I've shared it yet, but I'm just gonna wait for a little bit. But Damaris is gonna be like book 3, and I think Mr. York is going to make appearances throughout, so he's going to be a recurring character as well as Damaris. I deleted the old Mr. Wright to salvage his name for book 3. He's mentioned, this Mr. Wright in the new version is mentioned like I think once or twice, but it's not the same way as the Wattpad one. The Wattpad one, Mr. Wright, was this guy who was this like middle-aged man. No, he wasn't middle-aged. He was like in his 30s, and he likes to travel and read about travels, and so he's really annoying and is so socially awkward he can't take a hint, and so Magdalene gets mad at him, and that's what causes the original rift between Audra and Magdalene, because Magdalene says that she needs to marry Audra instead, that Audra needs to marry Mr. Wright instead of her, And so there was a whole drama with that. It's not as, like, I'm thinking, like, as I was reading through, I'm like, this isn't a very big blight. That could have easily been like, oh, I'm sorry, and move on. But I needed something bigger, and I did. Okay, we'll get to that later. I made Charles Graham more important to the plot, and then the next one is combined old Mr. Wright with Charles. So the one who, like, kind of is really annoying Magdalene is Charles Graham, the son of a lord. Like, he be causing mischief, flirting, being a bit of an annoyance. So he's also important to the series. Kind of, like, love-hate him. Like, freaking annoying. If I met this man in real life, I'd want to punch him. But, okay. Yeah. But he is also means there's room for character arcs. All I'm gonna say. I changed a few characters' names. Like, who was it? Miss Amelia Graham. I changed her name to Edith because I feel like I fit her character more, and I had a lot of A names, so I needed to kind of change that. So I changed her name to Edith, and it fits her character so much more. And there's other characters that are kind of small and don't really matter that I kind of changed. I even changed Mr. York's name halfway through because I realized it sounded almost exactly like the butler's name, because the butler at Magdalene's place, his name's Mr. Reddington, or Reddington they call him. Or is it he's a steward? I don't remember. Someone, I have my list up there, I can check later, and I have it on my computer. But all I know is that Reddington and Rennington, Mr. York's old name was Rennington, and then I accidentally called him Reddington, so it was confusing, so I just changed his name to Mr. York. Very, very, very curt, very different, so what the heck. I added volumes and chapter titles, so that's one thing I'm excited about. I'll put a little picture up of what it looks like. I've always kind of used the chapter titles, like part the first, part the second, because there was a copy of, I don't know if all copies of Pride and Prejudice have this, but it was like part the first, part the second. I loved that. Like, I freaking loved it so much, and I'm like, I need to steal. I'm sorry, I'm stealing it, because I want it to be vibey with the Regency period. I don't know. The chapter titles, I feel like it made it more personable, because I'm changing it to present tense. I wanted it to be communicative of her kind of talking to the audience, which I actually found a way to tie in with the epilogue. So, I mean, all the books in series are going to be present tense, I believe, but it was just fun, and I think that whenever Magdalene talks to the audience, it adds a depth of like intimacy that I need to make sure I go back and like make sure I am consistent with that, because I think I forgot to make it more communicative with the audience, so I need to fix that. And then we deepened the Audra subplot. Not only is, because Audra's subplot is kind of tied with Magdalene's, with the Audra subplot, I made it more intriguing, added more stakes, I guess, and tension to it. So, going on to the next point, added a lot more tension and strain. I made it definitely a lot worse of a rift between everybody. So I'm happy with that. I added more fluffy and romantic scenes. No spice, obviously. I can barely write a kiss without cringing. If that tells you anything. Yeah, I added more scenes because I feel like they acted like friends really well in the old one. Like in the old Wattpad version, they were like good friends, and they just loved each other, you know, like. But I needed to add that more about that tension and that, like, those moments, because Magdalene's supposedly head over heels for this guy. So act like it, girl. I mean, it's a romance book, so you know they like each other. So he has added more tension with him, like, pining after her too. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Gotta love the yearn. Yearning is like, it's important to, honestly, all my books, because 99% of the time I write like slow burn, and I wouldn't call this slow burn. I would just call it miscommunication. Honestly, miscommunication and stubbornness and pride and arrogance, and that's why it's called Arrogance of Elegance, because she's really arrogant, which causes a rift between everybody. Yay! Not yay, but yay for the end. Okay. Gave more letters. So the original, backtrack, the original 2020 version of this, before the Wattpad one, was the short story. I called it Blotted Letters because the crux of the plot was what happens in like the first part of the book, of the Now version and the Wattpad version, is that she lies to manipulate because she wants to marry Mr. Burns. And so she's like, well, I'm going to go invite myself over to his house, but make it seem like it's not my fault and I'm not breaking protocol. And so she, like, the invitation she has, she, like, blots out, like, the day. And so it makes it look like a different day. So she's like, oh, I thought it was today. The rain blotted my letter. And so she's, like, lying and manipulating. And letters have been a really important part of most of the versions, at least 2020 on. And so I kind of dig more into this because I want it to be a more central part, because each of the books in the series, I'm planning that far ahead. I know it's crazy. In each of the books of the series, there's like a different theme, different like motif that encapsulates the book. And this one is like letters, is writing letters. I see this vision of a book cover. We'll get there eventually. Wanted to make it more. So there's love letters, there's letters of apology, there's letters of how dare you, like there's it's a common theme, and I freaking love it. As someone who writes letters, it just makes me happy. I gave Nicholas a deeper backstory. Why has he been gone for 4 years? Oh, business. That's literally all that I said about like the Wattpad version. It was like, he's been gone in business for 4 years. I'm like, doing what? What business? What does he do? And so I made him like in the military during the Napoleon. I always say it wrong. Napoleonic. The wars with Napoleon, the Great Terror. Nicholas is like, I gotta go fight. And so he fights. Comes back finally after 4 years. Yay. And I delved into why Magdalene acts the way she does. Which is, I love psychology. Sociology, psychology. It's all, I love this stuff. I ate it up in college. Because of things that happened in her past, regarding her sister, and regarding someone else she meets, that she notices this parallel, and she just assumes the worst, and she's very fearful of a person. And so I kind of delve into that, and like why she reacts so suddenly to be like nasty. Let's be honest, that's what it is. But yeah, I deepened her backstory for that. It also helps because I'm writing a short story series called A Year in Taunton. A Year in Taunton is a short story series that is exclusive to my newsletter, so spoiler alert, not a spoiler alert, it's called a shameless plug or something like that. Yeah, shameless plug. Join my newsletter so you can get a story each month. I already did the first one in the month of January, so each month it's a different character, point of view, and just about 11 years before Arrogance of Elegance is happening. And it kind of just delves onto small topics. I have like prompts that I use that I am writing for each month. I have it planned out. I need to start writing the February one because it's February 13th. Next week it's supposed to be out. Guess not. Okay, no, it will be. I just need to write it. Now that I don't have to write Arrogance of Elegance, I can spend time writing it. Yay. But anyway, it's helping me figure out the backstory of my characters a lot more and understanding how they are crafted. And plus, I think they're important stories to be told because I want to delve onto really important topics. Like the first one, the January one, is about grief. And it's about enjoying the journey. And that's something that I struggle with. And so it was very honestly therapeutic. It helped me learn how to enjoy journeys myself, because if I don't see myself at the end goal immediately, I'm like, oh, I'm a horrible person, I don't deserve this, I'm not doing well. It's so bad. Imposter syndrome and everything, it just gets so bad. So it is running on to be like almost 20 minutes, so I'm gonna try to hurry up. I added more, I refined her aha moment. I just made it cleaner, made it more progressive instead of just an immediate, oh, here's some scripture I have to throw it out at you and take that, and now she's immediately wanting to change. Yeah, no, I am kind of like throwing those seeds a little earlier on. Hopefully it makes sense. I actually have not reread the last half of the book that I've rewritten. So we'll see. I deleted 10,000 words. I have a document called AOE, AOE for Arrogance of Elegance cut. And so basically I would just see like things that I didn't use, I would keep there and then delete everything that I did use because I wanted to see what I didn't use in case I need to use it for later, or also if I need to like, you know, just look back and cringe. I could do that. But I also wrote 21,000 words more, almost 21,000 words. I added more scenes and subplots with her maid Claudia. Freaking love Claudia. Props to her. She was supposed to kind of an added last minute thing previously, and so I liked her more as a maid, and so I kind of made a reason behind things and added another person in Magda's life to humble her. Yay! I reworked the proposal to be more heartwarming. Okay, 2020. I never wrote romance. Like, I still barely write romance. Historical romance is extremely hard too, because you have like to think about, oh, it wouldn't be proper if they just randomly kissed here. Like, you can't do that. Like, unless they hold hands. No, you would get shunned in society if you did some stuff in public. And so I had to like, or if you're even seen alone together, like, oh, that's improper too. So like trying to find scenes where like you can be romantic was hard, but I also just didn't know how to do it because I was a single Pringle. And since then I have dated once, I kind of understood a little more about the romantic field, how to flirt a little bit. I reworked the proposal and made it more romantic, I guess would be probably the better word for it. Not heartwarming, but romantic. And the tension. I wish I could tell you guys everything because it makes me so excited. Let's just say, leading up to the proposal too, and the drops, the pullbacks from the story, it's all connected. Sorry. I'm very happy with this book. I don't even care if it's my worst book written, my best work. I'm just happy with how it ended. Okay, I'm happy with how it feels when I was writing it, and I just love it. More closure at the end. When I first wrote the 2020 Wattpad one, it ended at like 45,000 words. It kind of ended, it ended really abruptly. Oh, they're getting married, the proposal, and then they get married, and then it ends. But I wanted to enter it into the Watties, so I needed to do 5,000 more words, and so I kind of added some more ending, and it felt kind of disconnected, but I kind of took those ideas and concepts that were really cute, like they're really honestly like really good ideas, but I mean, not to toot my own horn, no, they were decent ideas, but I kind of just reworked them into fitting the story more and being more cohesive and not just adding 5 chapters and mixing things around to make it fit. I have the luxury now to do that. Instead of just trying to meet a certain word count, I'm like, okay, instead of meeting a certain word count by just adding chapters and adding words, I am adding story, if that makes sense. I had to fix a lot of historical inaccuracies. So back when I was writing it, I apparently didn't know that how calling worked. I didn't know how. So I've been on a rabbit hole, looking into calling cards. I think what was so hard in the beginning of like the first half of writing this novel, and why I was so late finishing it for the deadline, is because I had to rework so much at the beginning. Like I had to, just small things, but I had to fix so many things. And it's hard to explain because the whole point of like the book and the Wattpad one was she was calling, but if I didn't understand the plot points of what's not good to do when you're calling on somebody, then I had to rewrite a lot and make sure it all fit. And also, because they're making them meet alone. I'm like, girl, if they want to walk together, they'd be shunned in society. So I made a lady's maid role bigger in the story, aka Claudia. I love Claudia. But yeah, fix those historical inaccuracies. I still need to go back after I finished all the beta stuff. I'm changing some towns up because I misunderstood what those towns were because I don't live in England. So I'm thinking, oh, this is the ocean. I thought Bath was an ocean city, okay? Because I know that Persuasion was set in Bath, but I'm like, I didn't realize they went to Lyme Regis, whatever you say it, for that scene where the girl falls and on the shore, like when she jumps off the thing, catch me, and then she like breaks her neck almost or something. It's been a while since I've seen it. The old one is better than the new one. Don't even talk about the 2022 one. It doesn't exist. Okay, what 2022 one? What? I don't know because it sucks. I hate it. So I'm changing that to Brighton in the book because there is gonna be mentions of Lyme Regis, whatever. But I want to have a town specifically Brighton, I think, because book 2 is going to be set in that place because of reasons. Okay, you will find out when you read it. Fleshed out some prose and dialogue. I'm like, you can just cut that. Just cut that. You don't need to say, hello, how are you? I'm doing well, how are you? But other than that, it was very witty, and I love witty banter, and I'm there for it. That is all things that have changed. This is the dumbed down version. And I know this is 27 minutes of content. I apologize. I really do. I'm just gonna leave it at that. But yes, I have written the Arrogance of Elegance. It is 61,000 words, plus 39, I think. I think it's 61,039 words. It is 32 parts, plus an epilogue. Has 4 volumes. I might change some of the names of volumes, because right now it's Taunton, London, Governess. I've changed it to Governess. The Governess, and then the last one's Finale. I kind of want to make them more cohesive. Maybe make them all locations, which would be hard because, not gonna lie, if I did go solely by location, it'd be part 1, Taunton, part 2, London, part 3, also London, part 4, Taunton. So that would not work. Just imagine a part called also London. That'd be so stupid. Not gonna do it. No, not gonna do it. Yeah. Anyway, I think 30 minutes of content is good enough. Cheers. Pinkies up, mates.